you very much, sir. And I was hearing your elaboration on Bhagavad Gita. It's a fantastic. Really, it's a spirituality is I think is also a medium through which we get our peace of mind. No doubt about it. But as today's topic is something very new to all of you, because though we know something about we know everything about modern medicine, but we are somewhere forgotten the biology which we are made up of. Somewhere we have thought that we are different than the normal common people. We have always thought ourselves, we have taken ourselves to one step ahead because people tell us we are God. So somewhere we got carried away. I also got carried away a long time back, and thinking that without me nothing will happen. Without me the patient will die. Without me the hospital will stop functioning. So I had a mindset of that. So today's your topic, which I am talking about, the CelluReva, that is also because it is nothing but the revival at the cellular level. So I thought when I was at the mode of destruction, we can say I was having a problem, because I will tell you the reason why I'm in a very short. Like I started my practice in 1998 when I was 31 years old. I come from my post-graduation after 1 year and started my practice. I was in a very nice place where a lot of patients were there, and I had to only work and show my work. So in that period, I was working 24 into 7 into 365. It's not that I wanted money, because the load was so much, I wanted to finish up the work. I thought if I don't attend the patient will die. And it continued for 12 years. And in between, I used to take everyday omeprazole tablets. Every day, I used to wear belt to operate patients. And lot of ups and downs. I used to have a continuous diarrhea for 15 days, 20 days, and I used to take all pre-probiotic was new that time. And what not? I have tried everything on my body to keep myself fit to work. See, 12 years in that, and 2010 I had a problem, and that was the time I had an introspection. The first time in my life, after 12 years of practice, I had an introspection. The introspection was that if I am not there tomorrow, who does the work, all this work will stop? Then my answer was no, it will continue. Then I thought, when I have done everything good to everyone, where was my mistake? Why I am facing this problem today? And my answer from my heart came that you have done good for everyone except you have done good to yourself. You have not taken care of yourself, and from there the journey of care for your health journey started. And that was a time when I was looking for how to get back my own thing, how to stop my medication. That was the biggest challenge for me, because there's a surgeon's ego, surgeons are very much egoistic. I thought, I know science, I am a doctor, and after that also I am having this problem. How come this has missed from my thing? So I started asking questions. I wanted a solution to that. So during that period, I just searched for everywhere. Even I studied the yoga, and I studied the nutrition. I studied everything. I went to people who are expert in that field. And when I went to them, I found that everybody were talking little by little, fraction. I say the fraction wise. Nobody was complete. A yoga person doesn't know the physiology. A nutrition person doesn't know the digestion process. What is the physiology behind it? And nobody knows. Then I thought, I'm a doctor. I have read physiology. I have read anatomy. I have read biochemistry. I have the knowledge. Can I restudy them? Can I revisit them and learn something more out of it? And that was the time actually I unlearned many of the things which I was knowing. I started relearning the things, and there was certainly, I found a lot of things which were very much useful to my body. And that's the time I got introduced to the new biology that is called system biology, which I think nobody has taught us in our medical school. Nobody has taught us, or we have never read those things. So I came across a book called Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton, a cell biologist, and it has changed my total outlook towards my body. I found that we have the power inside us. Our cells are more intelligent. That's the reason I'm sitting out here today and to tell you about, because it takes me 4 hours to teach people all these things, but I will be taking very short. The first thing is CelluReva was born out of this. That is called revival at the cellular level. How can we, because modern medicine is organ based. We talk about heart, we talk about lungs, we talk about liver, we talk about intestine, we talk about brain, we talk about everything. Because we are also we talk in a fraction, but it is organ based. But when we go one step ahead from that, when we start looking, organs are made up of tissues, and tissues are made up of cells. Now, our organ get diseased, or we get the problem because our cells become diseased. The information sent to them are not the perfect. There was you can say we got wrong information, so our cell got they got changed. They changed their biology. They changed their structure. They got, then the disease attacked the organ. So today, if we are going that why doctor needs CelluReva first. Because why we need to know about the cell, that is called science of cellular health. Science of cellular health is quite new because all this research, publication, everything came after 2005 to 7. And that was the time when the book was written, I think 2009. And I came across those things by searching in 2010-11. And it is very new because most of the people, we do not know about this thing. So this is my 10 years of research. Now you can say 10 to 15 years of research, which I will be discussing with. So a healer must first understand his own biology. Like to this year's World Health, this is Doctor's Day theme was, who will heal the healer? Who heals the healers? Now here the answer I will give you, that the healer should heal himself. And that is because by the knowledge which the healer has got, so the knowledge which we have, or the knowledge we are going to add, we are going to heal ourselves. So the doctor who ignores his own cellular health cannot become a long-term guide for society. That's the reason why recently I read an article about doctors' lifespan and all these things. It was so dangerous. And the doctor's lifespan among all the professionals is the low. Every doctor is having some problem, either diabetes, hypertension, or insomnia, or obesity. You name a thing, it is there with the doctor. So we will be talking about, so today I will take you to the world of cells. So we all will go to the cellular world today. So today's learning journey is from self-neglect to biological leadership. How can we become, we can reinvent ourselves as a biological leader. Fine. So today we'll discuss why doctors need CelluReva before patients. And cellular health is the foundation of practice, how chronic duty becomes a biological load to all of us, like sir was talking about. The duty is so much that we cannot help, but it becomes a biological load to all of us. The cellular, that is CelluReva method, that is called 4R map for the doctors, which CelluReva stands for 4 things, and that we'll discuss today, and how doctors become credible self-healthcare guides. We are the knowledgeable people. I always say we are the best people. We are the most knowledgeable people. We know patients, we know the body, but we are the people who are always silent when it comes to health. We are aggressive when it comes to disease, but when it comes to health, we are totally silent, and we look for other professionals, alternative medicine, for gaining our health, where the knowledge, all those people's knowledge is very limited. And with that limited knowledge, they cannot convince us. So because we have knowledge, so now it is our time. So knowledge of disease is not the same as practice of health. We have to somewhere understand this, that our knowledge about disease is not the same, because I understood it. I faced this one, that I was a very good disease care, or I am a very good disease care professional. But that time, 2010, when I had a problem, I discovered that I was a poor health professional. I never knew anything about health. And it was a 10 years and 12 years journey. So long journey. Let us go to the things. So the paradox, what is the paradox? We read disease signals. We know patient will start talking about the disease. We know what type of problem the patient is having. We are so experienced about disease. But we ignore our own body. We ignore our own signals. There is a paradox. We read ECG changes, but we ignore the palpitations which we always go throughout the day. I remember I used to have backache and I ignored it for so long. That is what we advise lifestyle, but we live in lifestyle chaos. Our lifestyle is chaos. Everybody agree. Nobody can disagree with me, because I know how doctors live. We diagnose fatigue to patients, but normal ages by our own exhaustion. We are exhausted, but we think it is normal. A doctor has to pass through this thing. We have to work hard. We have to serve patients. The society wants us in some other way. So we always neglect ourselves. So what is the thing? The doctor may be clinically brilliant and biologically neglected at the same time. We neglect the biology of our own body. And here comes the role, what can we do? So to know that, we have to first understand why this is happening. From professional duty to biological load. Our biology is loaded with lots and lots of things which our body is not capable of doing. The body records what calendar hides. The body records everything. Every time we're exhausted, body records a signal. Because the body cells they function through signals, nothing more than signals. So our OPD, ward, OT, emergencies, calls, reports, relatives, documentations, our administrative works, whatever you can tell. The nervous system records every emergency which is happen around us. Our gut records irregular food habits. Our mitochondria records energy depth. Because our mitochondria is not generating that much energy which is needed for our own, because we are not allowing them to remain healthy. The cells record the biology of imbalance. Everything we are doing in a 24/7 is being recorded. And that exactly thing happened when in 2010 to me, the 12 years of recorded instruction came to the picture. Fine. And that was the time when I was thinking, what to do here? That was the thing I was thinking. But now, to know that, so why we neglect ourselves? See, a culture that reward endurance more than the balance, because our culture is to work hard. Everybody think a doctor so he has to do the duty. He may eat or he may not eat, he sleep or he doesn't sleep, doesn't make. But my patient or I should get the benefit out of it. This is the things happening, and we only have allowed that thing to happen. We can't blame anybody else. It is our tunnel vision, it is our teachings, everything allowed us to go to this extent that we are now suffering for that region. Intensive, sleep is postponed. Residency, food and recovery are postponed. Practicing, when I start practicing, our family health got postponed. When successful years, our inner life is postponed. Like the belief becomes a good doctor must sacrifice everything. So we are supposed, as if everybody tells us, yeah, you are supposed to sacrifice your life for the betterment of the patient, of the society. That was the thing when into the introspection period, I asked, if I'm not there tomorrow, does the society will deteriorate or it will stop functioning? No, without me also things will go. So why to suffer? Why to make this body which is so valuable, which is meant for so many good things, more good things, not to take care of this? That is the question. And when I answered that, and everything changed in my life. Sacrifice may be needed in an emergency, no doubt about it. Chronic sacrifice become a pathology inside us. We all know this pathology word, but we are always taking towards a pathological living. So today, let us change our lens and the way we should think about it. Fine. So let us enter to the science of cellular health. So as a doctor, we have already understood these 5 biological lenses. I call it biological lenses. We know the neural lenses. Fine. Autonomic flexibility, like sympathetic and parasympathetic. We are already in the sympathetic overload, and how to bring it down. That is, we know it about it. We are very much aware about it. We know about our endocrine system. We know about the cortisol rhythm, insulin sensitivity, sleep hormones. We know about our mitochondrial dysfunction, energy production and recovery capability of the mitochondria. We know about the inflammatory signals, low-grade inflammation from stress, from sleep depth. We know our emotional lens that is called neurochemical loads and from repeated distress, and the way we are being forced, we are being pressurized from everywhere. Fine. So these are the lenses which we know. But I say all these things happens, and everything get filtered through that lens now affect our cells. Now we have to know about the biology. I'll take little bit about the biology today because that is very important, and it took me a lot of time to understand the exact biology. So if you look into the thing, we are made up of 37 trillions of cells. We all know. And every cells, are a miniature human being. They are a miniature sentience, you can say, the miniature living human beings. You can say we have 37 trillions of living intelligent cells. They all can sense, they have a system, digestive system, they have a respiratory system, they have excretory system, they have a defense system, they have everything. They can sense, digest, breathe, defend, repair, reproduce. Now, a cell, whatever we are doing, try to understand this, whatever function we have, every cell has got that function. Every cell has got that. And that was the thing which attracted me to go deeper into this, this cellular biology or cellular health. Cellular health means the cell can sense correctly, respond intelligently, produce energy, repair damage, and communicate with nerves. It is a miniature human being. Fine. So when we talk about we have one brain, and what happened? We have 37 trillions of brains. Every cell has got a brain. Now, when it comes to the brain, I'll just highlight audience one thing, that everybody thinks our cell has got a brain. Now I'm talking about cell has got a brain. Now, if I ask the audience that what is the brain of the cell? Anybody can type down. Actually, most of the people, whenever I ask to people, even doctors, everybody has answered that our nucleus is our brain of the cell. But no, nucleus is not the brain of the cell, because when scientists, what they did, they removed the nucleus, they found the cell was growing as it is. There was nothing happened to the cell. Only thing is that it stopped dividing. So nucleus is the gonads of the cell, but the brain of the cell is the receptors. Cell wall is the brain of the cell. It receives the signals through its receptors, and every receptor is a information receiving center. So whatever information is coming through the signals to the cells, they received by the receptors, and it goes to the nucleus for further processing. So here comes the role of these cells. So cellular health is community health. Now this is a very, very important word. Every doctor should understand, everybody should understand, because this is very interesting. So when I go to this word called cellular health is a community health, we have to go a little bit 500 billion years back. Initially 500 billion years ago, the earth was inhabited by only unicellular creatures, and there was amoeba and all those things. But for 250 billion years, those single cell organisms reigned the world. But because after that, due to some reason in the environmental changes, they couldn't survive, because that was a time where the temperatures were different and the things started changing. So few cells started staying together. So they started staying in a small community. Fine. And that was the first time, like we are now living in a community. Our cells knew these community feelings, I think 250 billion years ago. And they found when we are staying in tens and hundreds and thousands, we are surviving. So they become more intelligent. And they started surviving in more, they become more and more in millions and trillions. And the multicellular organism started with a plant. And after that, we human beings, so with evolution, we started, our cells become more and more intelligent. And after a certain time, what happened, a group of cells started telling you, we will not do everything. We will do only a very specialized work. So there, we generated that, division of level started. So we have started, some cells told you, we will be only doing the digestion part. So they became our intestine. Some cells, they remained together and they told you, will become your circulatory system. So some told you, will become defense system. So multi-organ system started from there. So the same cells, they started doing some certain functions, so they became our organs. So this way, cells sense their microenvironment. The group of cells, like the nervous system. Cells select behavioral response for survival. We have our own immune cells for that. Cellular cooperation creates the human organism. So it's a state of cooperation between millions of cells. So there is no competition within our cells. They are cooperation. That teaches us very, very spiritual thing. They call it that we should cooperate to survive. When they are in rhythm, when they are in balance, our cells remain healthy and we are healthy. So CelluReva, the things which I am talking about, the revival at the cellular level, what we call it that self-care becomes, when you want interested for self-care, it should go to the cell care. And cell care become our system care. When you start taking the cells, care of our cells, they become our system care. Automatically, you don't have to do a system care. They will do it. So the cell listens. I always say the cell listens to everything happening around us, 24 into 7 into 365 till we are alive. So CelluReva begins the smallest living citizen called cells. For them, food is a signal, sleep is a signal, stress is a signal, breath is a signal, movement is a signal, emotion, relationship are all signals. They understand through signaling only. They don't have any other way of our coding. I will come to that. Our cells get the information through the signals only. So when somebody talk about what type of food I want to eat, what are the different type of food, I tell it is not important that what you are eating. It is how you are eating, what you have. That is more, because that will send a better signal than when you choose and go and take a food which is your body is not coded with. So repeated signals become our biology. Whatever signals is coming to been given to our cells they become our biology. So if we are sending good signals to our cells, we are healthy. If we are sending bad signals to our cells, we are become diseased. So starting from cancer, hypertension, blood pressure, everything, you name everything, it is because of the bad signals which is sent to our body every moment. Fine. So let us go a little bit deeper into this now. Now, till now we have read in our books and everything, everywhere our biology, what we have read before is that DNA is the main thing where every code has been written. So that comes we call it a genetic determinism. That means what is written in our genes has to happen. What are the code is there in the genes? It has to be there. Suppose my father is a diabetic, so I will get the diabetes by default. So this is because if something be written in the gene, then it will come. Now, so this is called genetic determinism. A gene may be linked to, so we always call it, gene may be linked to disease without being the direct cause of the disease. That I will come a little bit later. Because we always link everything to the genes. That is what is till 90s, we were believing and scientists were also believing. So what was the thing? Old fear-based message that your genes decide your future. So whatever genes I have, suppose I have inherited a cancer genes, and so I'll have a chances of getting a cancer more. So the new cellular message is your gene creates possibilities. Your signal influences the expression. So here comes another factor which I will tell you, that it is called epigenetics is coming into the picture, where ours, though we might be having a diabetic gene, but until and unless we express that diabetic gene, we will not be diabetic. This is not denial of genetics, it is a correction of fatalism, which we used to think. Every person, every doctor, everybody, we have the thinking that if something is a gene, it will happen to us. So many times we also advise to patients accordingly. So CelluReva is replaces that blame and fear with responsibility, precision and practice. So when we teach CelluReva protocol, we remove this type of thought process, and where we may be able to do certain things which will be going by the system biology. So there are two words comes into this picture. One is correlation and one is causation. Correlation is a disease association, is a signal to act, not a life sentence. Like I will give you a very nice example of this. Angelina Jolie, everybody must have heard about this. She had a HER2 gene, something like that. That is for CA breast. She had a gene. So now the people, the whole of the world, the news world, everybody was now started talking about that this genes, if somebody's got there, then he or she will be developing a breast cancer. Fine. She did a bilateral mastectomy for that. So she thought, or her belief system was that this gene will cause the CA breast. But exactly it was not. The science was telling that time that this gene has been correlated. We have seen that this much number of patients having these genes are having this disease. So there is a correlation. So they are linked to a disease, but a gene variant increases the risk of, there is this type of gene variants, they increases the risk of susceptibility to a particular thing, but they are not the cause of the things. Like I will give you Huntington's chorea. There is a certain defective gene which directly causes the disease. So there is a cause. Like I'll give you another example. Like we are talking, let us talk about a car, and there is a key. Fine. So the moment we ignite the key, the car starts. So we will tell the key is the cause of this movement of the car. But it is not true, because the moment you ignite the key, what will happen? There's so many other factors. There has to be a petrol, the engine has to be working better, the wheel has to be in a proper alignment, or there must be wheel working properly. Then only the car will move. Fine. So here we are correlating that the movement of the car is correlated to the key, but it is not the cause of the car movement. But yes, when you ignite the key, the car will start. It will cause the car to start, but not to move. Exactly, in our body, there are so many things we have heard about. Like vitamin C has been related to, long back, it was been correlated to lung cancer. The people who take vitamin C, they will never develop lung cancer. That was the correlation was there. But that certainly people start thinking that if you take vitamin C, then you will never have lung cancer. It was wrong. Vitamin C taking will not stop the lung cancer, but the people who have taken vitamin C, there is a chances that these people will demonstrate. So there are other factors, because the person who is taking vitamin C, he's very cautious about it. He doesn't smoke. He take care of body. He does regular exercises, and all the things are there with him. So these are so many factors affecting that single correlation. So we have to understand that in our health also, such type of things are happening every day, and we always make one thing that the cause of the other. We can correlate. The teaching point is genetic risk needs lifestyle intelligence, not helplessness. We should not think that this type of genes will cause this or this type of lifestyle will cause this, because many factors come into the picture. So all these things started, in this particular project called Human Genome Project from 1990 to 2000, and this was one of the longest, study ever done till date project. And in that, the same feeling was that if we can decode the genes, fine, and we can correct them, and we can correct any disease. Very simple thing. It was mathematics. But what happened after 10 years of millions and billions of dollars invested into this particular project, because it was a very profitable project, because they was thinking. So what happened here? Here they found, after 10 years of research, that human being, they found only 24,000 genes. Well, a Spanish fly has got 75,000 genes. A earthworm has got around 96,000 genes, but a human being has got 24,000 genes. And we were expecting 1.5 lakh genes in our body. So what happened? Where were the missing genes? And that led to, because now they realize that we don't have to have 1.5 lakh genes to have every function. Like every gene can be, we can say they can always give different result depending on a different signal. Like gene codes for protein, but proteins network are regulated dynamically. All these things are, because we are a protein body. We are made of proteins. Fine. So every time a gene is been given a particular instruction, accordingly it will behave. It will produce the protein needed. So cells depend on the right proteins at the right place at the right time. The genome is not the closed book. It is read through cellular context. Like this means, if our genetic, the genes, the 24,000 genes which you have, they have multiple function depending on the context, depending on the information they get. So CelluReva, here we focus on improve the context in which the genome is being read. So how our gene will read the instruction which you are giving them. If I am in stress, how I am taking the stress? How am I giving the stress is bad, or I am telling that, okay, stress is there. Okay, this is not bad. I can manage them. So I am thinking there are two different things. In one thought, that stress is bad, is very bad. That means the signal is different. And in another, when we are thinking that, okay, it's a stress, I can manage this. Oh, it is nothing, it will pass away. And it is not going to do any harm to me. Then it is giving a different signal to the cell. So there comes the Human Genome Project. So here I'm just giving a picture of the genome. Here the most important part is the chromatin sleeve. There is a sleeve, everybody like till 2005. This protein sheet which covered which covered the DNA was never been studied. But when they didn't found any, they were looking for the missing genes. They came across this protein sheet. This is called chromatin sleeve, and this has got switches. This has got switches. Once the switch is on, the gene, the code will be read. Otherwise, the code will not be read. So, and this code switch on and switch off depends on the signals. That is called nutrition, stress, behavior, the whatever, and all the signals enter to our body through our five senses only. Whatever we see, whatever we hear, whatever we taste, whatever we feel, all these things, all the five senses sends information to our body, inside to our body, and our body analyze it, process it, and it sends to the cells. And depending on that cells, the switches are being opened up. Fine. This is the thing where you have to understand. So now the whole scenario changes. Previously, we were thinking that one person has got a disease, so he will always be a disease. But we forget there, he has sent bad signals to the body, so he has got the disease. If we start sending good signals, can we reverse it back? Can we revive them things? Can we revive our cells? There comes the role of epigenetics. And I think it is important. So what is epigenetics? The signal influences gene expression without changing the DNA sequence. Our DNA sequence is same because we all have the same sequence of genes. Only thing is who is expressing which sequence of genes. Epigenetics explains how environmental signals can select, modify, and regulate genes' activity. Genes are not fixed commandants. They are biological possibilities that requires context. So here comes our role. That means I am responsible for my own health. I am responsible for my own disease. I should take the control of that. Then only I will be able to revive. So CelluReva questions you, what signal the cell is receiving every day? What signal you are sending to your cells every day? You think of it. Are you sending good signals or you are sending bad signals? That is very important. So now if I summarize the thing, the cell is a living computer. A helpful teaching metaphor from our original presentation. I have taken it from there. Nucleus is the hard disk of our body. All the information which our thing are been there in the things. Genes are the programs or the blueprints. They are only blueprints. They don't have any power. Our genes do not have any power. They are only just like somebody. If I want to build a house, I need a blueprint. But the blueprint cannot make a house. There has to be a contractor who has to modify the blueprint according to the need of ours. That you have to understand this. So genes are just blueprints, nothing more than that. They don't have any power. And our cell membrane, which I tell, they are the brain of our cells. We have 37 trillions of brains. They are the processing chips. Just like in a computer, the work of the chip is information in and information out. So information will get entered through the cell membrane and it will come out through the cell membrane. Receptors are the keyboard. Like we want to send any information to the computer, so we have to type in the keyboards. So all the receptors on the cell wall are the keyboards through which the information goes into our cells. So it is we who are typing every day something in that cellular keyboard and sending the signals to our cells. And who is the operator now? Now who operates this whole thing? Our environment is the operator. So at the end, our environment is everything. It is operating us. It is not we who are operating us. It is our environment is operating us, whether we are peaceful, whether we are healthy, or whether we are unhealthy, whether I am a diabetes, whether I have somebody with a cancer. It is the environment which he is living, what type of life he has led, and that has led him to this. So if the operator, if we change the environment, can we get back the things? That's the question. And everywhere, all over the world, people are working on this. And there are so many, if you go through any miracle cure or something like that, which you have heard about, there are so many success stories. These are the people who have created their environment better to recover the things. You talk of anybody, Len Armstrong, you talk of this Yuvraj Singh, you talk of anybody. They have changed their environment. So CelluReva, we upgrade the metaphor. The operator is our perception, our habits, our sleep, our food, our breath, our emotional climate. So these are all operating us every moment, and it is their directly having effect. So until and unless we understand this particular simple thing, which took me so many years to understand, and then once we understand this, I think we will be able to solve the problem. So environment, read the genetic blueprint. It reads it. The cell's life is controlled by physical, chemical, energetic, and emotional signals. What meaning we are giving, what food you are eating, what type of breathing we are doing, what type of movement we are doing, sleep, what is our sleep, how our stress is there, how is the relationship with our family, with our friends, with the circle, what type of toxins you are ingesting, all these. So CelluReva asks us to design the environment deliberately. So here comes, when I talk about this, I'll come to the 4 R of CelluReva. There we take care of everything. I am not a spiritual person, but I believe in spirituality. Because we all are spiritual beings. If you see, we are born spiritual, but only thing is that we don't have to search for anywhere. We have to look inside. Gautam Buddha had told that when I had gone to do this Vipassana meditation, there, the thing was that they taught us in 10 days only how to go inside. That is called Antarmukhi. Once you go there, Aham Brahmasmi is the meaning is same. I am the Brahma. Fine. The meaning of this, all the things are there. And this Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, if you have, anybody has read this Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, I have read it through. The only thing Shiva is talking, when Parvati is asking how to get moksha, how to do the things, here Shiva has given 112 sutras, how to go inside. They are all breathing. Fine. So it is something which our already ancient literature is giving everything. Only thing is we are not aware of them. We have never entered to that. It's already given. I am not telling you anything new out of this. I have just come because as a doctor, I understood the human body. I know where people are failing. That's why I structured the thing into a method, which is a protocol. That's why I call it CelluReva protocol, which is different, not different from anybody else, but it's an integrating system. We have integrated everything into that one system. Fine. So there is another function like I told you, epigenetics. The second part of it is very important, is signal transduction. So how outside becomes inside. How the things, what is happening outside, is given a shape to us from inside. So this is a biochemical pathway that translates environmental cue into the cellular decisions. Our cell take decision depending on the cues it gets. So just look at these signals, goes to the receptors, then through the pathway, they enter the cell, then gene get expressed. Either a good information will express good genes, bad information will bad genes. Then that's the fate of the cell. And the fate of the cells is it's good, then it is healthy. If it is bad, then we are diseased. So altered gene expression, and so this signal transduction of this pathway is alter the gene expression and cell fate, influence cell movement, control survival and repair, can trigger program cell death also. So here the chance of when we are talking everywhere nowadays talking about reversal of disease and all these things, it is true. We can reverse. We can reverse, but no other person can do it for us. It is we who have to do the reversal process. We have to understand, we have to learn, we have to work with ourselves. Then only the thing is possible. Let us talk about how we do the things. We call it perception is the biggest biological signal. The same environment can create different internal chemistry depending on the interpretation. How you are interpreting the signal, what is happening in your environment. I will give you a simple example. When I go to the OT, we all surgeons are a little bit tense. So this little bit of stress, we tell, okay, this is okay, I'll do, we plan and we go and operate. So little bit of stress is good. But the moment I'm afraid of it, I'll be doing more complication. My hands, my thinking process, my cortisol level, all this will be very high. So if I interpret as a danger, my body will get a signal of danger and it will change the interpretation. But if I technically say, no, it's okay, I can manage it, then the instructions are different to our cells and we get the different things. So any event happens will lead to a perception, that lead to emotional changes, that change our neurochemistry, that changes our cellular signals. The character of life is shaped by how we respond to environmental signals. So we cannot, that I was talking to sir, we cannot change the environment around us because that is not in our capabilities. We cannot change the things, environment will always remain there. Nobody will do anything for us. It is only how we respond to that environment, and through that only we can send good signals to our body, and through good signals we can keep ourselves healthy till we die. So if we wait for somebody will come and change the circumstances, it is not going to happen, and this has not happened with me also. So I have to change my own environment. So I decided things for what is good for me, and I stuck to it. And believe me, it is 15 years down the line, I have not lost a single thing. Even I have prospered, my prosperity journey went away. Till now I operate the things. Till now patient comes to me, 20, 30 years old back patient comes to me for operation. I have planned now. They wait for me to get operated. I give them 5 days after, 10 days after, 20 days, except emergencies. So it is we who can change them. It is not private, it is not government, it is a human being we are talking about. So this is a great example of how our epigenetic things changes. This is the yellow one is a agouti mouse, we call it. Fine. They got a genes which is, this will make the mouse fatty. So what they did an experiment. Fine. So in our, there is a receptor in the, that you can say there is a switch is there in the gene of this, all we have. So if we can switch off the this gene expression of the fatty mouse, can we do something? So they gave this mouse a food mixed with methyl cobalamin, something like that. So, and that particular methylation inhibited that particular genetic expression, and a next generation of the thing mouse became normal mouse. So it is not a gene. So this rat has got also a gene of agouti mouse. This is also agouti mouse, but with a different genetic expression, because they stopped the expression of that fatty gene of that particular mouse by giving some food and this through a process called methylation. So we can influence the methylation, this process by, this is only through food. We can change our signals through a lot of information through which we can give. That we'll discuss. So for us, let us think, why when duty becomes our chronic stress, so what happens in our body? What type of signals we are sending to our body? The body hears a signal called danger. It is continuous. We are in the cortical, cortical peak, always. Sympathetic dominance. That means our body is in the cortisol level is high, we are irritable and poor sleep, we get poor sleep. That's why most of the doctors in the government setup, in a private setup, when we are overworked, we get irritable. Fine. What you see today in the whole of the country happening is because of we are overworked. Fine. Cortical disruption, when we will disrupt this, that craving, central obesity, brain fog, this thing will start coming into the picture. We are always doing a mitochondrial debt. Our mitochondria are not generating because we do not have that number of mitochondria, or we are not developing our mitochondria, because mitochondria is a we call it our energy, our generator, energy factory. If the number, it depends on the number of mitochondria we have, and it is available. It's most of the mitochondria maximum number in the muscles, heart, where it is needed more. So when our muscles, with the age, when our muscle mass is going down, our mitochondria number is decreasing, and we have a mitochondrial debt. So our enthusiasm and energy level and fatigue is coming into the picture. Inflammatory signals, we are everything we eat, or the way we are living, we are generating inflammatory molecules like oxygen-free radicals are being generated more because of the stress, because of the food, because of the lifestyle. Fine. So pain, gut issues, mood changes is very common to all of us. Our prefrontal fatigue we call reduced restraint and ethical clarity, because when our body is always in the sympathetic dominance, our brain gets less blood supply because the supply is peripheral. So burnout is not a weakness, it is a biology asking for correction. Every day our body is asking for correction, but we overlook that. We say, no, it is happening, I have to do that because I don't have any other way out. I was also 1,000 times thinking that there is no way out, but I made my life little bit different. So I think if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's not a very big thing. So here comes the CelluReva. Next class, in next session, I will be talking about reset only, because reset, revive, reprogram, restore, it takes 2 hours. So next time I will take reset only. Today I'll just do the biological, practical biological framework. Reset is interrupt the chronic stress signals. Revive is restore cellular energy. Reprogram is change the sacrifice-based beliefs. And restore is bring back meaning, joy, and family connections. These are the things. So CelluReva doesn't ask the doctors to work less. It asks the doctors to work from restored biology. That is what I want to tell today, because a lot of things are there, but there's no time. Next time we will be talking about reset. What is the process of reset? Then in revive comes the restoration of cellular energy, and in reprogram comes our belief system. So all these have one set up. So we'll discuss. So for today, I think we should stop. Thank you very much.